something which has really helped reduce a lot of my confusion with things is when you're doing, let's say, a manufacturing planet where you're not actually extracting anything. All you're doing is you're importing planetary commodities to the planet, is I like to name my haulers in my station, like after the system or the planet or the material that I'm making. So that way I know beforehand, okay, this is what I'm going to load up into this hauler to drop off to that planet. So I already have everything pre-allocated. Like, for instance, if I'm forming up for a strat up and I've got everything ready to go and the FCs are dicking around for another 10-15 minutes, I can go ahead and start working on my PI stuff. So it's not time wasted while you're waiting for a form up. So you can really make use of that ship spinning time.
There you go. Ship spinning time is, as everyone knows, the most important activity in EVE Online. Do they still have the counter? There it is. Of course they still have the counter. I've been playing so long that I remember when they added that and how we fangirled over it, and it was the best thing ever. And it was awesome and it's great. That is the end. That's the end of my presentation. That's it. Under an hour. So, Adam, if you want to add anything else, it's all you.
Yeah. So we've touched pretty much on how everything forms up and how it's all done and what your potential money making is. But we haven't really talked about what is potential, what to expect in terms of ISK making. So to go with some basics here, all you did was you farmed P1 materials on all 3 characters on one account. The basic math is 400, and you have perfect skills, let's assume. 400 units every hour, because you're going to have 10 processors, 24 hours a day, times, let's just leave it at 24 hours a day, right? So 400 units per hour, 24 hours a day, times 6 planets, times 3 characters, right? That would basically allow you to plot 172,800 P1 planetary materials per day.
Let me pull this over here.
If you multiply that by 30 days, you end up with 5,184,000 P1 materials. If you were to, let's say, do like a medium-priced commodity, like oxidizing compound is pretty much always in, like, around number 5 or 6 for value-wise, because a lot of stuff uses it, like cost fuel and all that shit. So if you took into a 5% POCO tax, you'd be making roughly 3.2 billion ISK per month, which is enough to flex your account, buy 2 skill injectors, and then some, shit chips to throw away at something. So super, super, super ISK efficient. If you were to, let's say, do really high-value PI items, let's say, like, for instance, proteins right now, you could pull upwards, and this is just buy value. I mean, obviously you want to try and sell at a medium price, but you can make upwards of 8 or 9 billion ISK per month per account. I mean, there's really a lot of wiggle room to make ISK. And if you're patient, and then once you get your T1 stuff, your P1 planetary commodities really pumping out, you can start stockpiling the shit that you're not going to sell. Like, say it's a crap item, but just happens to be a lot of it. Stockpile it, turn it into a P2 or P3 or P4 item, because it just increases the value later on. And if, let's say, the price goes down for the item and you don't want to sell right now, hold on to it, because it'll probably be worth something in a week from now or a month from now. So just keep your eye on the market prices.
So there you go. Now we can have a PI party in chat. One more tool I wanted to mention. And I'm not going to open my spreadsheet here. Actually, I am going to open my spreadsheet. I'm going to see how revealing it is before I show it on stream. Okay, I could show this off without revealing anything. So, something like this in Google Sheets is going to go a long, 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 long way. You put your character, what planet they got, what system they're in, what they're extracting, keep track of your excess, keep track of your shortage, keep track of maybe a column for if you're going to turn it into something else because maybe you're switching up what you're making. Use your spreadsheets, guys. It's EVE Online. You should know that already. Use your spreadsheets. Google Spreadsheets is the best around. Nothing's ever going to keep it down. Couple that with your apps for your notifications, and you should have a pretty good grasp. I'm running 20-something planets, and I can know at a glance any time what each and every one of them is supposed to be doing and what each and every one of them is doing. So, it's made things very easy. Don't give Microsoft any more money. They have enough money from their crappy Office products. Adam, you got anything else? I've reached the end of my agenda.
I think that covers it. I mean, with PI, it's pretty much, it's really non-committal. In terms of how much time it takes to do stuff, the first few planets you're going to do are going to take you 10, 15, 20 minutes, and it's going to be annoying as fuck, and you're going to make a mistake. But once you do it 6 times, for that character, and then you got 2 more of the characters on that account, you become incredibly proficient at it. So like Takon was saying that to set up the planet from scratch, it took him about 6 minutes. For me, I think I've got it down to 4 minutes now. I've become so good at it. And setting up the planet is kind of like a once or twice a month kind of thing, depending on what the status is of your system and how quickly those resources replenish. So in terms of like how much time to input in the null-6 system that I do most of my PI in, it takes about 6 hours per account. So that's all 3 characters. That's how much time it takes per month to manage all of those planets, including hauling, dropping stuff off. It's very non-committal. To put that in terms of like how much ISK you'd be making per tick doing ratting, it'd be the equivalent of anywhere from like 180 to 240 million ISK per tick. So it's incredibly ISK efficient.
Yep. So I pulled up a P1 farm here that I built on another character. I just wanted to talk about design and efficiency, because sometimes you're pushing these planets to the limit. If you find a really rich planet, you're going to have 9 processing units going, and it starts to get, unless you can upgrade that command center to level 5, it gets pretty tight. So I want to talk about sort of, patterns and what to use. These links, all the links use Power Grid and CPU. You want to make them as short as possible. So you can see here, I've sort of built kind of like a bit of a honeycomb going on here. It's a very efficient shape. You can create very short distances here. Obviously, once you build the inner ring, you have to go out of ways, but it keeps the distances between them as short as possible, in my opinion. It also looks really nice, so I enjoy doing it that way. You can build them however you want, whatever you make fit, works for you. And I think that's good. I kind of want to make up for the fact that I couldn't play the System Shock demo earlier, so if anybody wants to stick around and watch that, I know they've got some other things going on, but I think I'm going to fire up the System Shock demo. You want to watch that, Adam? You remember playing System Shock?
I've never even heard of System Shock.
What? You've never heard of System Shock?
Nope.
Alright, well...